Hello everyone, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble news channel. Ladies, 14 hours left until the end of the weekly light. Let's get this straight, okay? Before you watch any of my videos, I want to make this clear. If you haven't already, just watch this movie where I explain what it means. Allow me to explain. The weekly candle close will not end the bear market. It might be a big mistake though, since bull market formations can only be broken down on the price chart. I also think that prices can go down a lot more before they break through the bull market formations. We are close to a cliff. We are almost there, but we still need to break below 50,000, maybe even 49,000. The light for the week will burn out in 12 hours. Moving on to the RSI, both the RSI on Bitcoin and the RSI on other things like Ethereum shows how important that weekly candle really is. If the RSI systems break down, that's a sure sign that bad things are about to happen. That wouldn't prove the end by itself, right? But it would be a sign that the end is getting closer and closer. We're going to make this all clear today. The movie I'll post tomorrow will go over what happened with the weekly candle close. After that, if we do see a bad weekly candle close, I will carefully look at what needs to hold in the price chart. Because I have three levels right now, right? There are two yellow lines and the waterway itself. This is the structure we've had for 5 months. I haven't done a deep dive though. I know there's a case for that, and it's about 47k. Because of this, the neckline of this new top would be something that people would be looking at. I get that point of view. We'll look into that some more tomorrow if we find out the bad news. But for now, we need to just think about the short run. And that's the end of the weekly light, right? That's what we'll look at today. Just to review, a quick word of advice, because it's going to happen very soon. It's going to be a short one today, guys. You can trade on Bitonix and BingX. I picked the two exchanges I watch on this YouTube account by hand. Not just because an ad marketer sent me an email in my Gmail box. Did I say yes? I did look at these conversations. They're global non-KYC, which means you can sign up from anywhere in the world. And I chose them because I think you guys would be interested in them. Both of them have never been hacked, and their trading fees are already very low. With my 15% trading fee deal, they're even lower. So go check out B2Nice and BingX. The links are below. Let's get to the stuff. I did talk about a lot in that opening, right? But I'm going to tell you everything about it today, right? Then we'll take a quick look at the short-term charts to see how they look too. Right? What's the matter now? As I already said, the bigger picture isn't always what worries people. The 5-month bull market pattern is still in place. Some of our lows are still higher. On a big picture level, we still have higher highs. Since we haven't broken down from a higher low, it's hard to say that we haven't. It's also hard to say that we made a lower high. We're still in the same broad range, which can be seen by the channel formation, so it's not true. In other words, the fundamental uptrend is still there. While it is strange for prices to stay in the same range for so long, we also need to remember that the price rise to this level was also strange. We had a ridiculously big move to the upside with almost no decline. From the beginning of 2023 to the beginning of 2024, the ETF decision caused a huge move to the upside that happened way too quickly and way too soon. Even cyclically, we hit all-time highs before the halving. Also, we broke through all-time highs in just 850 days each time. The previous time, it took 1,100 days. In other words, the whole rise since the low point of the bear market has been pretty strange. This consolidation range is also pretty strange. That is just the simple truth. Because of this, I'm not too worried about the structure's flaws. I'm just focused on standard TA. And I know this to be true because I look at the 4-year cycle. Most of the time, the 4-year cycle was the most stable thing in Bitcoin. Based on the 4-year pattern, the peak of the bull market will happen in 2025. And I see late 2025 and 5 months of consolidation after a long move to the top that started way too soon. I think we might be getting back on track with the 4-year cycle, which we got off track from way too far, right? That's the kind of bullish framework that Bitcoin still has. Now, obviously, if Bitcoin breaks below all three of these lines, the ones from 2018 that cut through all the price action, the ones from October and the channel formation, and then maybe breaking below something like 47k as well, we'll talk about this tomorrow. If you take that all apart, it's very clear that this whole story, this whole situation is going to repeat itself every 4 years. Not true. The circle of 4 years would also end. There's more to this story than just the collapse of a Bitcoin system that lasts for 5 months. On the table here is the idea that the 4-year pattern might come to an end. As I said, we'll talk about all of this tomorrow. Price chart breakdowns would be the only way to be sure of this. But the RSI itself is what worries me today. Now, this is a summary of the facts. Looking at the RSI on the weekly chart is very important because it shows big falling resistance zones from the past. We're sending defensive zones that have worked to keep the price in check for a long time. They lead to very strong moves when they break outwards, especially to the upside. So we broke to the upside here, which caused the COVID drop bottom and the start of a bull market. We broke to the upside here, which caused the end of a bear market and a 1-year downturn, which is pretty big stuff. We broke to the upside here, which ended a 7-month holding and made the move to the upside stronger. Now we have a new falling resistance line on the weekly chart. Our slide looks a lot like these pink ones back here, so let's get rid of them so you can focus on the new one. This one will be pink so you can see it. We now have a new barrier line that goes down. It's clear that if we break back to the upside, we'll probably break the whole structure to the upside and keep the bull market going. Those are the kinds of things that could lead to something like an altcoin season. However, if we break down, that's bad, right? Because the RSI on the weekly chart has been very important when prices broke down as well as when prices broke up. And right now we're threatening to break it down. All of that is a quick review of what you need to know for this week's light close. We are not at that level. In 14 hours, the weekly light will be gone. It will be very bad news if we close below that mark in 14 hours. It's not likely to be. This isn't the time to run for the hills yet. That would only show up on the price chart, but it could happen. If it does, it will make the bearish situation much more likely. One reason I don't think it's a sell warning is that it only comes from the price chart. There's no doubt about that. The second reason is that I know that macroeconomic factors are to blame for a lot of the unpredictability and strange things that have been happening, especially right now. People can't make up their minds. That's the main question now. There is a huge amount of doubt because the SP 500 is also moving in a very uncertain way. This is because Bitcoin is also facing a very important RSI support line. It's also the SP, which has broken below a key RSI support line or is trying to do so, and it's making a clear lower high here. There are more people out of work, and the FOMC vote is coming up in 10 days, right? That's what I mean. Although the weekly close is in 12 hours, the FOMC decision could help us understand the big picture of the economy a lot better, right? In 10 days. So why should we trust the full close of the weekly candle when we have to make a very important choice in 10 days? This is what I mean. Because of this, I'd rather be safe and wait for more information before saying, oh, the weekly chart is broken up, you should really sell the kids. I have nothing crazy planned for this week because we can't stop. Of course, it would be a very bad thing though. In terms of history, there's no doubt about it, right? How about the short term? I'm going to end this movie now because I don't want it to be too long. How about the short term? To be honest, things look good for the short run. There's a danger here. Yeah, we broke up over something very important. I'll color it in a different way so you can see it. Let's make it blue. We broke up because of this line going all the way back to 2018, if that loads in there.